Hello, friends. Tattooed Biker here with you. And tonight I've got 3 real Sasquatch or Bigfoot encounter stories to share with you. The first and third are from viewers, and the second was forwarded to me from the lovely and talented Kitty from Pine Box Tales. She and I have been friends for years, and she thought my viewers would enjoy this one. So big thanks to her, my good friend Dart, and Sam for their submissions. So now, let's ride to Bigfoot country. Number 1. People keep thinking that they are all just big teddy bears, but they definitely aren't. These things aren't always in a good mood. For more than 20 years, I lived in East Texas, in a house on the Sabine River, without ever hearing or smelling these things. Not one identifiable bit of evidence, not even an inkling. Then, out of my kitchen window, I saw 2 females get into my garden, where they proceeded to eat some vegetables that I hadn't picked. One was slightly younger than the other, could have easily been the other's daughter. They ate their fill, sat around for about 20 minutes, and then they grabbed more squashes and cucumbers and left. The whole thing lasted about 45 minutes. I was frozen with curiosity, and I was afraid to move and scare them off. They were so alien. I had been running errands and had made a quick stop to the house when it happened, and my smartphone was back in the car outside, so no pics. I heard whoops and howls for about 2 weeks after that. Then one day, a big one went into my yard in October of 2019 and, without any provocation at all, took my dog out of her pen and ran off towards the woods. When I gave chase, very underdressed and with only a kitchen knife, it immediately turned around to face me. Then, with a psychotic grin, he, yes, a male, proceeded to tear my dog in half and throw the pieces in my direction. All I could do was run to the head and torso section, cradle her in my arms, and cry over my baby. I was absolutely inconsolable. Then the beast roared, lifted its head in defiance, turned around, and simply melted into the forest. If I wasn't so broken-hearted and angry, I know I would have been terrified, petrified even. It was an impressive 8 or 9 foot tall specimen, and in its prime. It was a horrific experience, and after that I only saw them once, about a month later. I was armed then, but I couldn't risk hitting any of the 2 females that were sitting in front of the male. Then the wind changed and they took off. They haven't been seen or heard around here again. Before these encounters, I'd always made fun of Bigfoot believers. Now I often find myself on the receiving end of the ridicule. Pumpkin was a lab boxer mix. She was 4 years old and my constant shadow, going with me everywhere. She was only supposed to be in the pen for 15 minutes or so because I didn't want to leave her in the truck while I got some papers in the house. I keep thinking now how I shouldn't have put her there. If only I'd brought her in the house, it would never have happened. I keep going over it in circles. I don't know if it's with most families, but on both sides of mine, Choctaw and Caribbean, we love our dogs like family. Number 2. My name is Jason, and this is what happened to me and my friends, Greg and Billy. Back in June of 2001, some of my friends and I went on a trip to Ohio for a specific reason. My friends and I were all into mountain biking, and we had heard from some of our friends that Ohio has some of the best terrain, so we decided to make a little road trip. We were only going to be there a short time, riding Saturday and Sunday, then traveling back home on Monday morning. So it was just the right place at the right time. None of us had ever been there before. Just luck if you consider what happened to us as lucky. There was just the 3 of us. We took our bikes out to a spot that was in a brochure at the hotel we stayed at. We had a good time, but we were hoping for something a little more challenging and a little less crowded. That place was more like a tourist destination for teens, who are a more beginner to moderate level mountain bikers. We wanted something for more experienced riders, something a little more for adult men interested in something a little more difficult. So we tried talking to some guys that were closer to our age and told them what we were looking for and hoping someone that knew the area might give us some information on good places to go. We did get lucky. These two guys, Pete and Dan, that we started talking to were pretty nice. Some people can be real jerks, but these guys weren't. They told us about a place that they go sometimes. They told us that the terrain was definitely for more experienced riders. The place was natural and not anything like the place we were at, which was nice, but made with safety in mind. I asked them, if this place is so much better, why are you guys here? They just laughed and said, it's really close. That's the only reason we come here. They explained that it's a bit of a drive to the other place, and they just didn't make the time to go out there as often as they used to. They said, hey, if you guys want to check it out, you can follow us out there, and it'll give us a reason to go. They seemed pretty happy about going to these trails. Myself and my friends were definitely game. They said they'd meet us at the hotel parking lot early in the morning, and we exchanged our phone info. In the morning, they showed up just as promised. One of the guys, Dan, gave us directions on a map he had made, just in case we lost them. But we managed to follow them, and a little more than an hour later, we were in this little town. The driver, Pete, signaled, and we went off-road now. Well, the place looked great. The 5 of us guys were having a great time. We were out there for about 3 hours, then we told the guys that we had brought coolers and sandwiches from one of the shops near our hotel and some drinks, if they wanted to stop and have some lunch. It was a really nice day. After lunch, we went back out riding for a while, having agreed on a time to leave. Well, we wound up leaving a little earlier than expected. A little less than 2 hours after lunch, myself, Greg, and Billy were all stopped in our tracks. We all stopped so suddenly that we almost got hurt crashing into one another. All 3 of us saw it. I think Billy and I saw it a little better, but we all definitely seen it. Jumping across the bike path was this large beast. None of us ever got to see a face. It all happened really fast. A brownish, hair-covered creature ran across right in front of us. It was bigger than any of us, both in height, weight, and in muscular structure. It probably could have destroyed all 3 of us. It leaped across the path on 2 legs like a man, not 4 like some animal. It looked in our direction, and I know it saw us, but it happened too fast to get a look at its face. But I don't think the face had hair, or at least not much. And right after it passed in front of us, this smell hit us. It was pretty disgusting. It was like somebody suddenly opened the lid on a dumpster on a hot day. Immediately after we stopped riding, things started flying in our direction, some of them even hitting us. We got pelted with rocks and large sticks or branches. We only saw the one creature, but it felt like we were being attacked by many people. We got on our bikes and rode back to the truck. We were done. When Dan and Pete saw us standing there, they rode over and asked us what was going on, and we told them what happened. They told us that about 4 years earlier, they had had a similar experience. They said it turned them into believers. They told us that some people call it the Ohio Grassman. That's their name for Bigfoot. We don't know if there was just the one we saw or others hiding, but my friends and I are believers now too. We thank Dan and Pete for showing us the area and understanding why we wanted to leave early. We all went out for dinner and drinks and mostly to talk about this Grassman thing. Their experience sounded pretty close to ours. These creatures, whatever they are definitely real. All 5 of us have kept in touch online over the years. We did go back there once, about a year later. We didn't have another incident or see anything, but we all felt strange, like something was following us and watching us. We don't know for sure if that was the case, but it's how we all felt. We didn't go again after that. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel safe. Number 3. Dear TB, I'm a long-haul trucker, and I used to stop at this particular location in King County, Washington, to swim and occasionally bathe every time I was passing through, which was frequently. I would park my big rig off the southern side of the highway ramp, lock her up, grab some soap, my phone, my 1911 wrapped in a towel, and I would just head down there in my trunks. It didn't matter if it was winter or summertime. I love the shock of the cold water and firmly believe that it's healthy for you. One day, just before 11 a.m., I arrived and headed down the hill to access the water when I saw something tall, brown, and hairy. I sometimes try and tell myself that it was a brown bear running on its hind legs, but the way it moved was eerily human-like. It was at the water's edge, and I surprised him because I like to sneak down into the area super quiet because sometimes I'd see deer or raccoons. I didn't snap any branches and moved quietly. The odd thing that happened is that I know I made eye contact, but something about its presence made me want to look away. Now, normally, I'm the type of person that would not only stare, but would probably have taken pictures with my Galaxy, but I felt a suddenly foggy feeling hit me, and a strong urge to run away washed over me, which I fought against and overcame. Secondly, I saw where this entity started from and disappeared to. I counted 15 seconds from the time it started till it disappeared behind the large trees in the area. After I revisited the site, I attempted to cover the same path myself by running it, and the best time I could get is 60 plus seconds. It's a huge distance, and I'm in excellent shape. I run, lift weights, and train regularly. I've never spoken in person about this to anyone, not even my wife, who would probably look at me different. I'd say stay up near the road and fly your drones in over the trees and down to the river centerline to get a clear view of both banks if you want to have a chance at seeing this thing. If it's been snowing or raining, the river can be violent. Usually it's 6 to 8 foot deep there. I've sent a photo of the location on Google Maps. Good luck, and thanks for reading. Signed, Sam. And there it is. 3 true Sasquatch or Bigfoot sighting stories. Big thanks to everyone who shared their experience. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on these down in the comments, but please, keep your comments respectful. These experiences can be more than traumatic for folks, and in all likelihood, they will read the comment section. If you have a story that you'd like for me to read on the channel, be it a Bigfoot experience or anything unexplained, just send it to the email in the description and it may just wind up in a future video. Anyways, thanks again for watching. And until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, stay safe, and I'll be seeing you on down the road a ways. Biker out.